Now, when most of us think about diabetes, what comes to mind? Probably, blood sugar monitors, maybe insulin, very modern medical stuff. It's usually seen through this pretty narrow chemical lens.
Right. So today, we're diving into a really unique, holistic take on diabetes. The source material we're looking at has this fascinating idea that the root cause isn't what you might think, like the pancreas, but actually the body's core energy system. And we're going to break down the whole approach. We're talking specific yoga postures, a special diet, and lifestyle changes. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll get our heads around this holistic viewpoint. Then, we'll dig into the core idea, this so-called energy center. After that, it's all about the practical stuff, the morning and evening yoga routines, and then the food and lifestyle piece. And we'll wrap it all up with a final big takeaway. Simple as that. All right, first things first. We're going to start by looking at how our source material actually defines the problem. What are the symptoms it's pointing to? So take a look at this list. What's really interesting here is how it goes way beyond just the usual suspects. I mean, sure, you've got the classic signs like the constant need to urinate and being thirsty all the time. But this perspective also points to stuff on the outside, like pale, dry skin and just a general feeling of being unwell all over. And get this, it even mentions flies and ants being attracted to urine. It's an old school observation for sure, but it really paints a full picture of a body that's completely out of balance. Okay, so we've seen the symptoms. Now let's get to the really fascinating part, uncovering the root cause. According to our source, it's not what you typically expect. So what is the root cause then? Well, the idea here is that it's not just one thing failing. It's more like a domino effect, a chain reaction. It all starts with one fundamental imbalance that then kicks off a whole cascade of problems. Let's trace it step by step. And here it is, the whole chain of events laid out. So it all kicks off with something called the Manipura Cakra. Now you can think of this as the body's power station, its energy center, right around the navel. The theory goes, when this power station gets weak, it messes with the liver and the pancreas. And that's when the dominoes really start to fall. The liver stops storing sugar properly, so that extra sugar floods the blood, and then the body tries to flush it out through the urine. See how it all connects? The whole cascade starts right there at that central energy point. So that begs the question, right? What weakens that core energy center to begin with? Well, our source makes a pretty bold claim here. Diabetes is the disease of intellectuals. Now, what does that mean? The idea is that a lifestyle filled with a ton of mental effort, thinking, studying, stressing out, but without enough physical labor to balance it out, that's what drains this core energy. It's that imbalance that sets off the whole chain reaction we just talked about. Okay, so if an imbalance of physical work is the problem, it kind of makes sense that the solution would be a very disciplined physical practice, right? And that's exactly what we're looking at next. A specific set of yoga postures, or asanas, starting with a morning routine designed to literally reignite that core energy. So this is the morning sequence right here. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some random list of stretches. No, each one of these has a very specific job to do. Take Agnisar Mudra and Upavishta Uddiyana Mudra, for example. These involve some really powerful abdominal movements. They're designed to directly massage and stimulate all those internal organs. We're talking the liver, the pancreas, and that Manipura chakra we keep mentioning. The whole point of this morning routine is to basically give your digestive and metabolic systems a powerful wake-up call, getting them ready to manage energy for the rest of the day. Now, the work isn't done after your morning coffee. This whole system is about balance, and that means a twice-a-day approach. So there's a whole other set of practices for the evening, designed to complement the morning's work and keep that healing process going. And this is the evening lineup. You can see how it complements the morning routine. You've got poses like Bhujangasana, that's cobra pose, which gives a nice gentle squeeze to the abdomen. Then there's Paschimottanasana asana, a deep forward bend that's great for calming everything down while also stimulating the liver and kidneys. And hey, look what's back, Agnisara Mudra. The fact that this one shows up morning and evening tells you it's absolutely crucial. It's like the cornerstone of the whole physical practice, constantly working that core energy center. Okay, these postures are obviously powerful tools, but according to our source, they're not a magic bullet. They don't work in isolation. For this to really have an effect, it has to be backed up by super disciplined choices about food, drink, and your overall lifestyle. It's all part of the same puzzle. And this chart just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? It's basically a series of direct choices. It's about choosing physical work over being lazy. Picking alkaline foods, think veggies and fruits, over acidic ones. It's about making sure you stay regular and avoid constipation. And it's all about moderation over excess. This isn't just tweaking a few habits, it's a complete lifestyle overhaul. And the food advice gets really specific. The focus is on stuff that's not only nutritious, but also super easy for your body to process. So you see a lot of vegetables, things like plantain flowers, even ripe bananas and figs make the list. Then you've got things like coconut, peanuts, and curd, yogurt. The whole idea is to give your body all the fuel it needs without making the liver and pancreas work overtime. It's about nourishment, not punishment. On top of all that, the system also brings in some simple herbal remedies. And we're not talking about complicated prescriptions here. These are really straightforward preparations, using things you might even find in your backyard, like guava leaves or the seeds from a jamun fruit. It's just one more piece of that disciplined daily self-care routine that's at the very heart of this whole philosophy. Okay, this next point is absolutely crucial to understanding the mindset here. The source draws a really bold line in the sand. It says, remember that insulin may increase the vitality of a patient, but can never cure the disease. So from this point of view, there's a huge difference between managing the symptoms, like high blood sugar, and actually fixing the underlying problem. The idea is that a real cure can only happen by going back to the source and strengthening that core energy system. So we've walked through the symptoms, the supposed root cause, the physical routines, the diet, the whole shebang. So what does it all boil down to? What's the one single most important takeaway from this entire system? It all comes down to this single, powerful statement. For those who are adverse to physical labor, a cure from diabetes is next to impossible. Wow. That really puts it all on the table, doesn't it? The core message here is that healing isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you have to actively earn through your own discipline and hard work, especially physical work. The power and the responsibility is completely in your hands. And that really just leaves us with one big question to think about, doesn't it? Could a disciplined lifestyle actually be the most potent medicine of all? This whole approach is built on the idea that our daily choices, how we move our bodies, the food we put in them, the discipline we bring to our days, aren't just nice-to-haves. They might just be the most powerful tools we have for our health in the long run. Something to chew on. Thanks so much for tuning in.